Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. If you are joining us for the first time today, I did a pre-show video earlier this morning, and it was my pre-show. Like the NFL has their pre-game show, so our guest is so awesome and amazing. She needed a pre-game show as well. I want to welcome my very good friend and amazing entrepreneur, Noel Rippe. Did I say that right? Noel
Hello. Yes,
Rippe?
Noel Rippe. Yes, that's
Rippe.
good. I love saying that I have the ripple effect.
You do.
The
You
ripple.
totally have the ripple effect. 1,000% have the ripple effect. So, super excited to have you on. So, Noelle, you're an art therapist, you're a transformational coach, and you're the founder of the Magic Garden Circle. So this is quite the trifecta. How did this all come about? How did this all come to be?
Well, Colleen, in another life, I was a therapist, an art therapist, and I loved it. And then my daughters left the nest. I was feeling a little bit empty and I wanted some change. I wanted to travel more around the world with my husband, and we decided we want to live in different places. So I quit being a therapist and I was looking for something new. And I met Dean Graziosi, the place where we met, right? Mastermind. And he was talking, it was the beginning of COVID, and he was talking about creating a business based on what you're good at. And that this was the right moment to do this. So you could do one to many instead of one on one. You could free time to live the life you love. So I thought, this is amazing. I'm going to do it. And I'm a very good student. So I was paying close attention to everything Dean said, and I started implementing. And I ended up having two beautiful pre-recorded courses for emptiness mamas. That's what was talking to me back in 2020. And I started selling it. I wasn't super successful, but it was kind of successful. I learned how to do the marketing. But a year and a half into it, I was deflated. I was ready to quit because I was like, oh my goodness, there is no joy in this. I am the joy person. Everything I do, it has to bring me joy and fulfillment. If it doesn't, I don't do it. If something I need to do, I do it, but I sprinkle it with something that will lift me up. So I do it. So I was ready to quit, Colleen. And I had quit so many times before, not my therapy thing, but my entrepreneurial adventures where they all came to a stop at some point. So I said, I will feel like such a loser if I quit again. So I said, why don't I do art? I'm an art therapist. Art therapy had nothing to do with the programs I had created. I had left everything that was me out because I was emulating Dean Graziosi, who's so amazing and I still admire so much. And I said, I'm going to do art and I'm going to see what's going on with me. I used it so much with my clients. Why wouldn't it work on me? So I decided to create a vision board, but not the vision board like everybody does it, the art therapy way, the scientific way of doing it. I did it. And I went online, I looked for images that spoke to me, and I really got lost in the process. And when I looked at it, I saw community. I saw art. I saw beauty. I saw laughter. I saw like really deep connections. And I didn't have any of that in the business the way I was running it. So it became very evident that I needed to do something very fast. So that same day, I picked up the phone and I called a few friends that live in LA, my friends from church, and I told them, you know what? I'm going to run a retreat on Saturday. You have to come. We're going to do art in my backyard, in my garden. You have to come. And they came. I think 6 of them showed up. And it was a whole day thing. We did art. They were blown away. While we were in the garden, we had moved to Malibu to this beautiful house I never thought we could afford. That was also on my vision board, a previous vision board. And we're sitting there, we're doing art, women are crying, they're laughing. And I have this aha moment. I look up and we're surrounded by hummingbirds. That same day, 5 monarch butterflies surrounded us. And I was like, if this is not telling me that this is what I have to do, what, right? So I loved it, loved it, loved it. And I said, I want to do it again. A couple of weeks later, things starting to pop for the people who showed up for my event. And one lady who hadn't ever gone anywhere, she was always in LA, she went on a cruise to Mexico only 2 weeks later, and she had never left the country. Things started showing up, and I said, I'm going to do it again. I tell my accountability group from Mastermind, and they said, we want to come. One flew from Chicago, another one flew from Hawaii, another one from North Carolina. We got together. Boom, again. A day like that is still, if I close my eyes, I can feel the feeling of that day. So what happened is that the word started spreading, people talk, and everybody wanted to come to my garden. But a lot of my clients don't live in America, they don't live in Los Angeles. A lot of them are in South America, they're in Europe, and they couldn't come. So I said, what if I create a virtual garden that looks exactly like a magic garden at home, so I can have more people come over and more people enjoy the magic of art. I called my daughter, who's my branding person. She's amazing. And I called my coach, Diane, and I said, this is what I want to do. And she says, let's do it. I think you're ready. So in October 2024, we started building this. This all happened last year. It has been so fast. Everything, I don't know, when you align with your values and with what brings you joy and vibrancy, and that things can move really, they can flow so well that they move fast and but not out of control, kind of a thing. So I said, okay, for December I want to have my membership ready. But of course, I we were looking for where to launch this, right? Which would be the platform. I don't know the technical wording for this, but where is the membership going to live? It needed to be beautiful. It needed to look exactly like my garden. So we went with Circle, but we needed to recode the whole thing. I wanted everybody to become a flower when they became in. It's the Magic Garden Circle. I have my cards here. And so we worked really hard for 3 months. I had a launch for founding members in December. It went amazing. And it was going to go out to the public in January. And now is when I start choking up. January 10th was going to be the launch. 2025 was going to be my year. Everything was ready. If you're an entrepreneur in this, like, you know how hard it is to have the funnels ready, the videos ready, everything. For the first time in my life, I wasn't late to my own party, right? Everything was. And then on January 7th, the Palisades fires happened and we lost it all. We lost the home, the garden. I still cry. I still don't have a house. That's why this looks a little funky right behind me, because we don't have the house. We're going to start rebuilding next month. And and I was like paralyzed. How can I launch a membership in 3 days? I lost it all. I was broken. I didn't know. I needed to call FEMA. I needed to call insurance. I needed to sort so many things out. And what happened was incredible, Colleen, because I called my team and I said, now I had two designers in Argentina painting, like watercoloring the whole garden for me virtually. And I said, guys, please, I don't know who, but stop the funnels. I can't do this. And they said, I just talked to my coach and she said, I'm stopping this. Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it. So how amazing to have a team that is aligned with you and where there is so much joy and love, right? We stop everything. And then people who knew I lived in Malibu and that started reaching out to me on social media. And my silent audience that I was so mad about because I was posting and giving value all the time and I didn't hear back very often, started saying, Noel, how can we help you? Is there anything we can do for you? One coach that I knew from rooms, like from rooms from Mastermind, I had never met in person. She offered me 10% of her salary, coaching salary for the next 3 months. I was like, oh my goodness. And I didn't want handouts. Why? Because I have an insurance. It's not covering everything, it's covering 60%, but I have insurance. There's people that were so much worse than me. And I didn't want to take something that could go to someone who was in more need. But I said, if I launch my thing and I tell people, if you want to support me, join my membership. This is the best way you can help me, and then I can give you something in return. So I decided to launch 10 days after I lost everything. And at the beginning, and then my team said, why don't you do a pay what you want? Right? And I said, okay, let's do a pay. Okay, do a pay what you want. For the launch, it was just a 90-minute workshop that I usually do for free. I said, okay, that's fine. 2 days before the event, no one had signed up, Colleen, because I was putting out messages, but I was so broken inside that I didn't want to go on camera. I'm vain. I like looking pretty, and I ugly cry like really bad. So a day before, 2 days before the event, the launch, my daughter sees a message I sent to my team in Argentina. She was part of a group, and I didn't want her to know that I was feeling so distraught that no one had signed up for the workshop. And she sees it. I forget in my mind, like, okay, that she was a part of that group. And she calls me and says, Mommy, if you want people to come, and she's crying because she also lost it all, right? You need to show up in camera, ugly cry, do whatever you have to do, but do it. And Colleen, I came, I went on camera twice. I ugly cried. And all of a sudden, I had from 0 to 55 people that signed up in one day. Everybody, almost everybody came to the launch, and 35 people signed up for the membership. So the membership is now going strong. It's 9 months, and it's beautiful, and it has reshaped my entire business. Having this beautiful community where people like you come. And I love that are people, women like you, who are business women and who are running so much and doing so much. And sometimes you forget about yourself and how you feel, and that you also deserve to have a life that you absolutely love. It's a gift. So it has been a weird thing, but the membership saved me twice. Once when I thought I would quit, the Magic Garden saved me. And now in a time where so much uncertainty and so much struggling, because I can be joyful. I'm doing a lot of things that I'm proud of and I'm enjoying. And there is a part that is really hard. But the membership, the Magic Garden Circle is carrying me through it. Having a purpose and having a business that is so aligned with who I am and what I love, it's carrying me through the darkest of times for me. So thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
sharing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, Michelle has commented, wow, you are amazing and resilient, and absolutely. And great words from Michelle, because she's amazing. Michelle, you are amazing and resilient as well with your own story. We could have a live show just on resiliency, which I know that you have actually tackled in one of our Magic Garden circles. So, Noel, thank you so much for really putting yourself out there and sharing, because this is what life is. And if you're listening to this or watching this right now, you are probably thinking about your own times in life where things have really been hard and really been tough. And, can I go on? Should I go on? What should I do? I think I need to take a break. I don't think I can do it. And one of the things that you really thrive on, Noel, is you really thrive on helping people become their vibrant, their fulfilled version of themselves. And this really, really shines through. And I feel like you can speak to this because it has been you. Like, you've gone through transformation several times in your life. But how do you combine your art, your psychology, and entrepreneurship in a way that gets like really good results? Like, how do you combine all of that to really help the rest of us, continue on and become the best version of ourselves?
Yeah, I feel like for me is like a philosophical or like a values thing. I believe that each one of us, every one of you, has a gift inside. And this is a gift that is living in there that was given only to you, is what makes you unique, is what makes you the best version of yourself. And unfortunately, in a world full of information, where we are go on social media and they're telling us what to do. Now you have to fast, now you have to eat more, now you have to do this, now you start this business, now you start the other one, and then you do this exercise. That that beautiful treasure you are is hidden, is buried under so many layers of following other people's dreams, following other people's paths, like I did with Dean Graziosi. I love him, he's amazing, but I didn't need to lose myself trying to be him, right? So we're trying to be other people. And what I love about art, it is the avenue I know to bypass the brain and go into your heart. With what I do, I have so much respect for who you are inside, for your gift, that I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm going to create an experience, and I'm going to give you an art directive. You don't need to be an artist. It's better if you're not an artist, actually. So you don't need to make it look like something. And I open the door so you can peek inside the beauty that you carry inside. Once you see that through your art, we create an experience. I ask you to do some art with purpose. Then you look at it. I ask you some questions. You journal. So you access a different part of your brain, right? That you don't have access to this part of you through language. You have access through art. It comes up. You journal. Now you're integrating another side of your brain, another layer of your brain, and another hemisphere of your brain. And I ask you the right questions so that you get your own answers. When you work like this, what I see in my clients is that instead of paying attention too much to what they're doing, they start becoming. They realize, oh my goodness, this is something that is inside. This is the real me. How can I use this to serve the world? How can I use this to be better for my family, for my romantic partner, for my friends, for myself, to show up strongly every day of my life? So I feel the beauty is in a world that is so busy and so noisy, to stop, like you say it, Colleen, so much. Like you come once a month to the Magic Garden Circle, you shut down you shut the door, and it's just time for you. It's not me, it's you. I'm the avenue. I give you a vehicle to get in touch with you. So I think this is the beauty. And once you start becoming this person, then all your decisions for business, for life, whatever you're facing, instead of being so confused and not knowing which theory to pick, you can hear your own voice. Your voice knows your truth. When people say, but, and I know it happened to you, Colleen, sometimes like, but how do I do it? Do I do it like this? And because we're so used to having rules and like really guidelines to follow. And I want you to follow your own guidelines. I give you enough so people feel secure and safe to go in. And then you start becoming resourceful and you start discovering this beauty within. And the transformations I see is just, this is what I live for. This is what's lifting me up during these times, like seeing people flip and all of a sudden bring their business to the next level and their life to the next level. Because business and life goes together. And the only way to have a sustainable business is that it's well integrated into your life and it's aligned with your values. Otherwise, you won't be able to be joyful, or you won't be able to stay long at it.
Absolutely. And we talk about work life balance, but I don't know that it's really balance as much as integration. And we're going to talk about bundling here in a minute because I really, that has been a game changer for me. So I'm part of your regular monthly Magic Garden Circle, which has been life changing for me. And I talked a little bit about that in my earlier video if you want to go check that out. But I want to talk about, you're launching a very specific 6-week entrepreneurial opportunity. So let's talk about that. Who is this for? What's it going to be like? If there's an entrepreneur out there that's just like, oh, I don't know, or what can, what can I expect to get out of this? Like share what entrepreneurs, like what this is for, how they can benefit from it. Share about this 6-week program that you have.
Yeah. So this 6-week program came out of a couple of weeks ago. I was presenting at the Edge to my fellow entrepreneurs and coaches. I wanted them to see that inner work is not a luxury, that entrepreneurs, more than anybody else, need this because they're building their own business and they need to build a business that makes sense with their lives and with their values. So I did this. It was incredible having such like superpower people in there, like really understanding and really seeing transformation through art in just 3.5 hours. So I decided to continue the journey. What happens is that when you come to the Magic Garden Circle, which is beautiful, we touch the tip of the iceberg. Every month we talk about something, you see something, but what do you do with it? How do you learn how to use this language? How do you use this language? Uh, how does this become your everyday life, right? So the 6-week program is called Stop Hustling, Start Curating. For me, the word curating, being an art therapist, I love it because it has some resemblance of art thing, but it's curating your life. How can you curate your life and your business in a way that you stop hustling? What we were saying before, we need to make decisions for our business, and it's like, do I do this, do I do that, do I follow this one, do I follow that one, do I took this course, no, now I need to build this, no, now I need to build that. During this 6-week experience, it's an immersive experience, you're going to realize what you want and what you don't want in your business and your life. You're going to understand, be really clear about your values, and you're going to have a filter through which to pass your decisions. Does this fit my values or not? How is this business decision going to impact the rest of my life? Because let's say that you, for example, have an opportunity to go on tour for 6 months. You wrote a book and you say, okay, now the way I'm going to really uh, I don't know, bring my business to the next level is traveling for 6 months and doing this for my book. But then you go home and maybe you have a husband, maybe you have a wife, maybe you have children, maybe you have dogs, you have cats, and maybe leaving for 6 months to travel the world with your book is not going to, it's going to end up in you getting a divorce or having a breakdown with your children, or I don't know, having to put your cat or your dog somewhere. They're going to be really miserable. So I think after the 6 weeks, you're going to see that your business and your life is one, that there is a way to integrate it, and there is a way to run a business in a way that lifts all of you up. And I think that's the main thing. I I run this in the past, never for entrepreneurs, and it's transformational. What happens is that when you do this week after week for 90 minutes, you get to go really deep. We do art exercises, you have some homework, there is a community where you start talking to each other. It is a small group, so you get feedback from other people in the room, and you end up like bonding with people that you will probably collaborate in the future, which is a bonus that is beautiful. But what I see is people coming to me with a business they feel, or a life is like, okay, I'm ready to get a divorce, I'm ready to quit my job and do something else, I'm ready to finish this business I started, and they leave with the realization that they can do it a different way, and they don't need to quit on their families or on their jobs or on their businesses, that they can do it, like build it the way they want it. And with little tweaks and reframing here and there, you can really be on your way to the most beautiful life and business you could possibly imagine.
I love that. That is so needed, and I really, really hope that everyone who sees this is going to join and sign up, because this is really an amazing transformation. And I'm going to share with you all a little bit about the transformation I've had. So if you watched my video the earlier video that I did, um, and I was kind of doing my pregame show for Noel. And I remember when we first met, and you said, "Oh, I have this, I'm an art therapist, and I have this magic garden circle." And I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if that's really for me. And I'm really super busy, and I don't even, some days I go all day long without even eating because I am so busy. But I did it, and you said, just come, and like just try it one time, see how you like it. And I loved it. I loved it so much because I really came in with an open mind without any expectations, and I loved it so much. And I remember we did the wheel of life. And I described it in my earlier video, but I'll describe it for you all now. If you imagine a wheel, obviously, like a wheel is round, right? So that's how cars drive down the street, is a nice round wheel. And that's how we should be flowing through life. But when you do this wheel of life, and Noel has you take your circle and divide it up into 8 different sections. And each section is labeled something different. And it's everything from finances to spiritual to fun and joy and creativity and your, relationships, everything from friends to your spouse. And so there are all these different categories that perfectly make up our lives. And then you fill in, like, I'm going to call it, how fulfilled are you in each of these areas? And when you fill it in, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I'm super fulfilled, right? Like in my career, like I'm really fulfilled in my career, but my fun zone was like really short. I was really short in the fun zone. And I had to take a look at relationships, and I really felt like, gosh, my relationships were kind of mediocre, had room for improvement. But one of the things, like, I do some volunteer work, and sometimes when I want to do things with friends, I feel guilty because I feel like, oh, I should really be working. So that was the very first time that I did my wheel of life. And I was like, wow, that it was really eye opening, to be honest with you. And then with the presentation you did a couple weeks ago at the Edge, we did the wheel of life again. But I'd made some changes in my life based on the first time I did it. And it was really incredible because I hadn't really thought about it until I sat down and did it again. And I was like, oh my God, like, look at these changes I've made in my life. And I'm actually happier and feeling more fulfilled. I'm going to share with you all one of the biggest changes I made is, remember I said my fun my fun segment was not very filled out, not very much filled out. And I realized that I didn't really have anything that was mine. Like, I was doing things with my husband. We go out and do fun things, and I have some friends that we occasionally do fun things, but I didn't really have anything that was mine. And I have always wanted to learn how to sail. We have a boat. It's not a sailboat, but we belong to a yacht club where our boat is docked, and we're members of the yacht club, and it's very social there. But I got the opportunity. Someone said, "Hey, I need I need a crew for an upcoming race. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Heck yes." So I grabbed my chat GPT on my phone, and I opened up YouTube. And between chat GPT and YouTube, I learned as much as I could about, sailing and all the terminology and everything. And I freaking loved it. And so I've actually crewed 3 races now. And I'm actually signing up. I'm gonna get my captain's license, and I am officially learning how to sail. And it is bringing me so much joy. And then we're gonna talk about bundling in a minute, because the cool thing that you taught us also, Noel, is to bundle things. So you don't just have to be working on one segment of your life at one time. You can bundle. And one of the things I was able to bundle is, my husband is not really into sailing, but every sailboat race needs a safety boat. So he takes our boat out, and he's the safety boat. So he can still be there. He can, cheer me on, but he's got a role to play. So I feel like we're still doing something together, even though um, I'm sailing and he's holding his breath as the boat's keeling. And he's like, oh my God, I hope my wife doesn't fall in. But it has been amazing. And I am bundling right now because another thing is like kind of the personal, self-care time as well. I'm actually doing I am doing my manicure, pedicure right now. So I can't show you my toes right now, but I am giving myself a pedicure right now. I started it this morning, but it takes a bit of time when you do it yourself. So I am doing something for work, doing some self care, and I'm hanging out with a really good friend. So that is three things I'm doing for my wheel of life right now.
Yeah. I love it, Colleen, and it makes me so happy to see you this joyful. And let me ask you something. What is it doing for your confidence and for your I know at our age, like it's sometimes you feel like, oh, am I getting older or something? What is it doing for you to learn something new like sailing? Something you would have never thought of pursuing. Maybe because right in your mind, it's like, oh, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that, I don't have time, I don't and all of a sudden you say, oh my goodness, there is a gap there. Fun is so low. It makes me sad to look at that. I'm going to take action. And what did it do for your confidence in yourself and where you're at in life?
That's a great question. It really totally jacked up the confidence level because I'm doing something and I'm like, wow, I still got it. I can still do it. And I learned that I'm gonna have to really lift weights because it's really you got to be really strong to pull on the ropes when you're crewing. I had to give up my beautiful manicure. You can't have long nails when you're a crew, but that's another motivation to become a captain because when you're a captain, you can sit and tell your crew what to do. You don't have to do the work. But um, but it really does boost your confidence because I'm
Mhm.
there working with alongside other people like some very experienced sailors and uh it's like you're really never too old. You're never too old to start learning something new and have a new adventure. So I think it a thousandfold raises your confidence because you are like, I can do this. I can totally do this.
Absolutely. And if you could do that, you could go to the biggest stage in the world and you can help the most amazing people and you can all of a sudden do it all. This is the thing is that what we don't think about is sometimes you feel your life is stuck, that you cannot move forward, that your business is stuck. And what you don't understand is where is this coming from? Maybe there's everything is wrong with me. When you look at your wheel of life like this, and Tony Robbins is the one who talks a lot about the wheel of life. He speaks about it. We build it, we paint it, we create it, we make it roll so it lands in a different part of yourself. What happens is that when you realize, when you look at your wheel of life, like Colleen said, okay, if I'm so good in business, why can't I use the same tactics? Because what you did, probably the same thing you do for your work. Go to ChatGPT, learn how to do things. You use the strength you have in your business to lift your fun part, to teach yourself how to sail. And if you don't know, it's like awareness is so important. If you don't know where you're lacking, how and we try not to know because nobody wants, like Tony Robbins says, we run away from pain and we run towards pleasure, so we keep on doing what we do well, and the areas where we're lacking, they shrink and shrink and shrink. So that's amazing that what you said about bundling, you bundled right there too. I mean, you borrowed from your expertise in your work, use the same techniques for your private life, and something changed. Bundling, we had a session, a whole session on bundling. Please watch the replay, Colleen. And we did the 8 parts of the wheel of life with balloons. Each part was a
Oh,
balloon, and we wrote on the balloons, and then people tried keeping all the balloons in the air and they couldn't. And some people didn't like balloons. They brought model magic or Play-Doh or something like that. And then we said, okay, what would you tie with what? to save time, to make your life more pleasurable, more joyful. And they started, like, they brought string and they started putting, like, grouping these things. Some people ended up tying all the balloons together because they realized that every part of their life can help the other. And all of a sudden, it's easy to keep in the air two groups of balloons. But eight, it's impossible. So, this is the kind of exercise. It sounds so shallow, but why doesn't anyone do it? It sounds so simple, but there is so much strength and power and simplicity in feeling it and having muscle memory of these concepts that are so, like, crucial for you to live a life and have a business that you love and a life that you can't wait to jump out of bed every morning to live. So thank you so much.
That's absolute. I love just the visual of the balloons. What great. And what Noelle is referring to is her Magic Garden Circle that meets once a month, and it met yesterday. And there was another great big Zoom call for the Edge that Noelle and I are both a part of. So I made the choice to go with the Edge, but which was really really good. But I wish that I would have done the Magic Garden Circle, but I'm going to go back and watch the replay, which is always available. It's always way better to do it in person, but I'm going to go back and watch the replay. But I love the visual of the balloons because that is so true. Like, we sit and try to keep all these things up in the air, and really we can tie some together, and it's so much easier to create that balance. So Noelle, how do people get into, how can people find out about the entrepreneur program? How can they sign up for it?
Yeah,
Have a link?
yes, I have a link where, well, I will give it to you later. I don't know where to put it here. But yes, I have a link. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, Noel Rippe, just like it's written here, in my bio is the course, the program, or I love calling it the immersive experience. It's life changing. It starts next Wednesday, October the 22nd. We meet for 90 minutes for 6 weeks in a row. And it's going to be magical. It's going to be amazing. It's going to bring your business and you to the next level because you are your business. That's the thing. If you are your business and you're feeling a little bit stuck or you're feeling a little bit not motivated, deflated, this is for you. It's really life changing, and you're going to get so much out of it.
It really is. I can't even say enough. I can't even say enough about how truly transformational it is, and it really really does sound so simple. Really, I mean, it's like you're back in kindergarten and we're drawing circles and coloring things in, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, if you're a 6 7 8 figure income earner and you think you can't benefit from drawing circles and coloring things in and maybe cutting a few things out here and there, like, let me just tell you, you need to follow Noelle on her Instagram and sign up for this program because it is really, really life changing. I can tell you firsthand, like, what a difference this has made for me. I do feel a lot. There's a lot more transformations and a lot more aha moments and goodness that I have experienced from my time with Noelle. But it is truly making a difference in my overall life, my business, how everything is now tying together. Whereas before it was really segmented, and I thought I had to segment things. It's like, okay, I got to stop this now and I'm going to start this. And then I feel guilty about that. And as Noelle said, guilt is canceled. There's no more guilt. Guilt is officially canceled. And she has tons of other great nuggets to share. So I really want to thank you for coming on and being my guest here.
You're welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
And
having me.
I hope you'll come back again.
Of course. And
Mhm.
let me tell something to your beautiful entrepreneurs who watch this is like inner work is not a luxury. It is a necessity. When you think that coming and doing this and complexity eh, is a recipe for disaster. It took me 25 years to make this so simple. It's what is this saying that if you, Mark Twain said, if I had all the time in the world, I will write you a very short letter or something like that. I don't
It
know.
was a shorter book. It was, yes, something about that.
Something about
Basically,
that. So this works. Inner work, do not shy away from inner work. Inner work is what's going to make your success double, triple, 10x, and is not going to be at the cost of your life, your marriage, your joy, your health. You can have it all. And it's simple, it's beautiful, it's an experience where you're going to hear your inner voice and you're going to know from now on how to run your business, how you run your life in a way that you fall in love with.
beautiful. I'm just going to end right on that. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Noel, stay right where you're at. And
Yes.
I will be back with Morning Marketing Live at the same time on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And I've got more amazing guests coming up. But this entrepreneurship program with Noel starts next week. I'm going to drop the link in the comments for you all so that you can check it out. Hopefully, sign up and I will meet you there. Everyone, have a great week.